everyone, and welcome to the Laythrom channel. In our videos, we cover filming tips, tricks, and techniques, equipment and product reviews, and many other things that will help you in the world of filmmaking and photography. Check out our videos and don't forget to subscribe.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Laythrom channel. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Matt. I'm going to be your host for this video. And today we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about SpeedGrade. And a little bit of grading in general, but most mainly SpeedGrade, because that has seemed to be one of the biggest questions I've been getting asked as of recently. Should I use Adobe SpeedGrade if I have the CC or Creative Cloud Edition? Or should I stick with something else? Should I use inside of Premiere or inside of After Effects, or should I SpeedGrade, or grade on, grade with SpeedGrade? Should I use it, DaVinci Resolve? Should I use this? Should I use that? So on and so forth. Well, I'm going to tell you right up front, to each their own. I mean, you have DaVinci Resolve out there, you have a bunch of different grading software available. It all comes down to how much you want to spend and how much you want to learn and all this other good stuff. Now, with that being said, I'm going to say if you have the Creative Cloud Edition, if you have Adobe CC, you might as well just get SpeedGrade. And I like to personally grade stuff, before taking it in to my editing software or my VFX software. Your workflow is up to you. I can't stress that enough. I can't say, sit here and say, well, you have to do it this way and this is why. Because in all reality, it's not the way it goes. But without further ado, we're going to play a little bit here. Now, as you can see, we have a video up here that I'm not particularly fond of. That's why I was stuck in uniform one time in front of a camera. It sucked. But we're going to do a little bit of grading now. After you import a video, you have a little bit of information down here at the bottom, such as your frame rate, whether or not it's stereo. If you have a calibration setting, if you were using an Arri or a Canon 5D, a GoPro 5800K, I mean, there's a bunch of different settings that you can look at. If one of these is actually sitting in there, you might as well use it. If you were filming with something that's not in there, obviously leave it off. Can't stress that enough. Now from here, I'm just going to click on this little button right here and actually throw up a grading track, if you will. There are several different ways to do it. Don't try and slam me in the comments saying I'm doing it wrong. I'm sorry, there's more than one way to skin a cat. But once you have your nice, wonderful grading up here, we could do a little bit more. Now I'm going to come over to View, and I'm actually going to have two screens, before and after, so to say, and I'm going to split my screens. Crop. I'll leave my crop alone. I'll leave everything else alone. As of right now, it's not a big deal. Format I don't really have to worry about because you're only looking at two different formats, and that's for the Alexa and the R3D. You have your reels and your color space. Now, aside from that, you also, if you go up here to Clip, you have a few options that you can sift through if you want to color grade the entire thing, if it's an exacting scene, if it's a run-on scene, it's a little bit different. Mainly because things are going to change. You can actually mirror this vertically and horizontally if you wish. You can mess around with the aspect ratio. All that other good junk. Warp. You also have, again, more formats for Alexa and R3D. And you can also modify your color space. But if you come over to the Look tab, this is where we're going to start getting in with a little bit of grading. Now, I will say first and foremost, you have four different options up here. You have your overall, you have your shadows, your midtones, and your highlights. And then you have a bunch of stuff down here, your offset, your gammas, your gains, final saturation, magenta, temperature, contrast, pivot, and input saturation. You also have down here some presets. i.e. film stock, which this is all a live preview. So as you can see, if I'm hovering over down here at the bottom, my black and white Fuji, so on and so forth, I can't even read the rest of that. It'll show me up in my preview up here what it looks like with those settings. And then just moving over, you see which one each one does. Now, that is for the lazy. I hate saying it like that, but it kind of is. However, if you start with a preset and then you modify it, I have no issues with that. That's not exactly what I would consider lazy. But furthermore, you also have the camera patches, so you can sit here and play. This is the same thing as the settings early on, or not the settings, but the oh damn, what was the word I was looking for here? Not settings, but your calibration. There we go. I couldn't think of the damn the name. Now, I will say one thing. I mean, if you're going through here, and as you can see, this raw video is a little... oh, how would I put it? It's a little blown out. It doesn't have a whole lot of color to it. I mean, now, if I go into this one right here, well, I'll tell you right now, that sure as hell popped the color. And be quite honest with you, right there, granted, I understand I'm not sitting here and choosing a default or choosing a template and calling it a day. But to start off with, I'm actually liking this one. I mean, if we turn this bad boy off, you can kind of see the difference of what's going on here. So from there, you also have your speed look, cine looks. So if you want to modify more presets, you know, you can do it to your heart's desire. I did not want to click on that, but anyhow, moving on. So I have right now my lookup table. You know, let me undo that. There we go. My lookup table is the BMC Pores or whatever SL profile. I'm going to start with that. Oh, you also have styles too. You have different preset styles that you can play with. But anyhow, that's not what I wanted. If I go in here to primary, I can start changing some of this information. So I'm going, I mean, usually you have some people that start with just an overall, some people prefer to mess with their shadows first. Some people prefer to mess with midtones, highlights first. This is where you're going to literally have to play with. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what all your settings are going to be, but sit there and play with them and see what comes out that you like. Now, furthermore, what you could do, because I don't want to take up a lot of time, I know you know, the attention span's kind of wavering, as is mine, but you can come down here and you can actually add in a new primary look, a new secondary look, new custom layer look, and that's actually the one that I use the most, because I can also throw in some, you know, some degrain, I can throw in a bleach bypass, I could throw in a color match, blur sharpen, so on and so forth. Get it to something that I want it to look like, which is kind of what I got going on up in here. Now, it doesn't look that bad, it's not that great, but it's exactly what I want. Now, as you can see, I mean, I took it to extremes. I warmed the photo up like crazy, which is making it kind of look like it's a lot hotter than it was that day. Now, don't get me wrong, it was about 90 degrees when we filmed that, but I throw in a little bit of degrain, I throw in a bleach bypass, and it kind of brings it down to where I want it. I still have a lot of poppy colors, but it's still not as bad as it originally was. That is the original video footage, and that is after the correction. Now, it all comes down to what you want to see, how you want to see it, so on and so forth, but once you get everything, you know, kind of played with, you get it where you want it to look. It's not that hard afterwards. You come up to render, you pick wherever you want it to go, yeah, give it a file name, Format and options, quite frankly, that is another personal preference. I usually leave mine at HAA 10-bit with an RGB. I leave my no burn in. I leave my calibration table the same. Time code the same. Full image. Square same as proxy. So on and so forth. Offline quality. And then once all that's done, I hit the render button. Now, if you don't want to render it out, you can actually do it a different way. If you're already working inside of Premiere and you want to basically link back and forth between Premiere and SpeedGrade, you can do that too. Just go ahead and select your sequence that you're working on, go up to File, go down to Direct Link to SpeedGrade. Yes. Go ahead and do that, and it will pop open in SpeedGrade. Makes it awesomely simple, awesomely quick. So now, instead of sitting around and ticking back and forth, you could just do whatever you wish. Now, I'm going to come down here and just apply some crap to it, in all reality. Mainly because I do not want to waste a whole lot of your guys' time. So once you're done with that, just hit the little save button. It'll save to Premiere Project. Go back to Premiere. Yes. And hey, looky here. Our SpeedGrade information is taken straight into Premiere. Everything is happy. Everything is working great. So that is a little bit of workflow. I mean, you can come over to effects and, you know, come down to, not audio effects, but you can come down to adjust, you know, mess with your levels, mess with your lighting effects, and, you know, I mean, color correction, go through all this other crap. Now, if you have that already instilled as a methodology, I know stuff like that is hard to break, but quite frankly, when you could just jump back and forth between SpeedGrade and Premiere, why not? I mean, it is simple, it is quick, and it helps you out in the long run because it doesn't take 9 different, I guess, plugins to get what you really want. But that's all I have. I've already shot past the 10 minutes that I wanted to try and stick around for this video. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, feel free to drop them in the comment box below. Do not forget to share, like, and subscribe this video. Well, subscribe to the channel, share, and like the video. So, you know, it helps me out. Helps me out tremendously. If you watch it, if you've learned anything from it, please give me a thumbs up. I mean, come on. And don't forget to subscribe. That helps out more than you could even imagine. Unless you're one of those people that are on YouTube doing videos all the time, well, then you know exactly what subscribing helps you with. But that's it for me. I'm going to go back to playing some Arkham Knight. I gotta do something in between making videos. I'll catch you kids next time.